The CIA influences the media. Operation Mockingbird was a secret campaign that was started in the 1950s by the CIA with the intention of influencing the media. Wealthy businessmen are trying to overthrow the US government. In what has come to be known as the business plot, Major General Smedley Butler testified before Congress that several businessmen were trying to recruit him to overthrow the government and install a dictatorship. It was largely dismissed as hearsay, and nobody was prosecuted, although most historians agree that there was at least talk of a plot.
Okay, my thinking on that right now is most of the government is wealthy business people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they probably are already controlling the media. Like, it's impossible to find an article without bias.
Yeah, yeah.
It's impossible.
However, I also do, like, I understand what they're saying. Like, are other wealthy business people trying to overthrow the current wealthy business people? And in which case I would say, like, yes.
Honestly, this just feels like, yeah, probably. This is a reality.
This is a real thing.
This is a real thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter who's controlling it, somebody's controlling it.
Now known as the Gulf of Tonkin incident, in 1964, several Vietnamese vessels fired on American ships. This was the official start of the conflict between the two nations. What had actually happened was that American warships fired on something they assumed was an enemy vessel during the night. The next day, it became clear that the enemy vessels were simply due to bad weather. By that point, however, the US was already in full retaliation mode. In 2005, the NSA acknowledged that although they knew the attack was bogus, because the wheels of war had already started turning, they just let it go.
Thoughts?
Honestly, I just think some people look for reason to start wars because wars actually weirdly help the economy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Is this a conspiracy though? Like, did they put this out to the media knowing that that was the case?
I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
What
okay.
about you?
That's where I'm at. That's
Yeah,
where
I
I'm
wouldn't
at
be
too right now. I
surprised.
would not be surprised.
So far, I'm not surprised by either of these.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yes.
The CIA cleaned the records of scientists so they could be recruited by the government. A precursor to Project MKUltra, Project Paperclip was a CIA operation that bleached the records of former scientists so they could be authorized to work for the US. The paperclips that secured their new histories to their files were what gave the operation its name.
I actually have read about this.
You knew about
I
this?
actually read
Okay,
about
yeah,
this.
tell me.
Yeah, so essentially it was like a way to have work for the US government.
Right.
To either like give them information or something like that. So they established something called Paperclip, and forgive me, correct me in the comments if you know more about this, because my memory is hazy, but it was like, essentially what they said, it was a way of enlisting them into the US government and getting them visas faster.
Right.
So it was called Project Paperclip to bring them in. And I wouldn't be surprised about this either, because in World War II, Hiro Ishii was like a Japanese organized like the prisoner of war camps there, and he performed awful experiments on the POWs there.
Aware of this
like,
one actually,
and he,
yes.
Like, yeah, and he got let off because he gave them all the information from the
how
experiments.
and what he did and all the tests. Yeah, I know
So
exactly.
it's like the US was like, you know what, we could punish all these people, or we could figure out what they know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, as long as the knowledge that you're gaining is used for good.
French soldier Alfred Dreyfus was framed. Known today as the Dreyfus Affair, Alfred Dreyfus was accused of treason in 1894 for selling secrets to Germany. In 1906, he was finally pardoned, and it was revealed that he was in fact a scapegoat. The real traitor had been quietly acquitted, but due to Dreyfus's Jewish heritage, he made an easy target.
What are your thoughts?
Okay, well my thoughts were, if he's the scapegoat, who's the actual person? They didn't actually ever say
Why
who
don't
the
they
actual
actually
person
say who the actual person is?
Yeah. Does anybody in the comments know who the actual person was who did this? Because clearly this person is the scapegoat, had nothing to do with it, but I want to know who is actually responsible.
The CIA conducts mind control experiments. Project MKUltra, a CIA program that performed mind control and drug experiments on civilians, was revealed in 1975 during congressional investigations and hearings.
And then MKUltra, which is like the whole mind control experiment, that was a weird one, because what they did was they would lure, they hired prostitutes to lure like unsuspecting people into like little bunkers that the CIA would watch, and they would be unknowingly dosed with I believe this is MKUltra, correct me if I'm wrong,
Right.
to see like what the effects of LSD would have on mind control.
Wow.
Yeah, and they like ran this for, and they're like, wait guys, that's like not good. That's not,
Yeah, that's
shouldn't
not
do
like
that.
right.
And I don't think they actually found anything useful besides like just like all of their employees watching some unseen acts that they didn't need to see.
Yuri Gagarin was the first human to go to space, right? Well, some have posited that prior to Gagarin's historic flight, the Soviet Union sent several other cosmonauts to space, where they either died or were captured by foreign powers upon their return to Earth.
After several decades of propaganda, lies, and official denials, the truth about one of humanity's greatest achievements can now be told.
Given the Soviet Union's secretive nature, it's easy to believe this theory, even though there are several big holes in it.
We have photographs where we believe a cosmonaut in training has been airbrushed away.
Okay, so Stalin did do that.
Okay.
Stalin did airbrush like people he didn't like, and he killed around 40 to 60 million people throughout his entire rule.
Well, I thought it was closer to 20.
No.
No, more than that, eh?
More than that.
Jesus.
Including the war and then also his own people. It was
Right.
crazy.
Okay.
So like the Cold War, there was a lot of fear there. So I can understand.
But did they do that?
This is the question though. I wouldn't be surprised because there was
Understand.
such a competition between the US and the USSR. So it's like,
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think I could believe that they died in space. I find it difficult to believe that they came back to Earth, were then taken by a foreign country, and nobody was aware of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't
Not sure.
know. I can't. How can we know?
Universities and higher learning costs, well, an arm and a leg would be an understatement. Although there have been growing calls for the government to fully fund higher ed, many see it as unlikely for one simple reason: the US military. In the US, military service is voluntary. However, it also offers subsidized access to higher education along with service, giving lower income families opportunities they wouldn't otherwise be able to afford. The conspiracy theory states that the government would never fully fund higher education because if everyone had free access to college without the added danger of active service, far fewer people would choose the military.
Well, 100%. I mean, I think that that logic seems pretty sound to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
That checks out. That checks out for me.
It checks out, you know.
That checks out. Like I'm
Like,
like, okay.
Do this one thing for us. We do this one thing for you, or we'll just do this one thing for you.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah, man.
This one makes sense.
That makes sense. Jesus, it's scary how easy these are to believe, you know? Jeez, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
All right.
Most strangely compelling is the idea that the 2013 dystopian movie Snowpiercer is really a sequel to Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Would you wear a shoe on your head?
Proponents of the idea cite numerous similarities, including that both feature characters traveling through a fantastical structure who are then progressively whittled down as they progress through it.
You repay his kindness with violent hooliganism.
The idea is that the train's inventor, Wilford, is actually an older version of Charlie Bucket, who modeled his frozen dystopia's lifeboat on Wonka's self-sustaining candy factory. It may be pure imagination, but it is fascinating nonetheless.
Okay, you know what? I'm iffy on that one. I'm a
yeah.
little bit iffy on that one.
Yeah.
However, I will say for sure that I think Hollywood is running out of new ideas, and everything is based on everything else. It's like
Yeah.
we've all taken something from some other thing.
Yeah.
So
And we
in
can
that
all
regard,
agree. We can all agree that the Willy Wonka with Gene Wilder, love you, Gene. That scene in the tunnel is the scariest part of any children film that I've ever seen. So why wouldn't it relate to this?
we could probably all agree on that.
Like
yeah.
a train of horror nobody wants to be on.
Yeah.
That's it.
Fair.
Even if I am in a chocolate factory, I didn't want to go there.
Yes. Gotcha.
It's this little song, freaks me out. Meantime. It's weird.
Does anyone really get modern art?
No.
Like, seriously, who buys a painting when it's just pure white? And how are these weird non-paintings selling at auctions for millions of dollars?
I absolutely love.
That's just the air conditioner.
Well, one popular theory holds that modern art and art auctions are just a front for money laundering practices.
Do you see how I echo Monet with my brush strokes? Yes.
Dirty money is used to pay for paintings, whether they're really worth anything or not, which allows rich criminals to launder their cash in such a way that the government cannot
That's
touch
true.
it.
That's actually true. That's actually true. I passionately dislike modern art for this reason because it is a money laundering thing. It actually is.
I was not aware of that.
You see things there's there's a couple paintings that are literally like a 2-year-old could have made these.
But
Like,
here's the thing though. I've
like
always
millions of
chalked
dollars.
that up to my artistic ignorance.
Nope,
My artistic
no.
ineptitude.
Nope.
That's not the case?
No, it's not. It's people being like, oh yes, art. We could sell this for millions and then sell it to all these rich people so they can put their money somewhere so they can evade taxes.
Right.
I fully believe this, 100%.
All
Sold.
the rich people and all the money launderers, very British too.
Yeah.
You're
Always British or like, California. I don't know what that means, but anyway.
Never got around to securing that Wi-Fi router you set up at home? Then there's a pretty good chance anyone nearby can at least see some of what you do online and what you have on your computer, particularly in shared folders. Anybody who's ever run iTunes in a college dorm only to have other people's shared playlists pop up next to theirs can attest to how common this problem is. Of course, if you are up to something shady, an open Wi-Fi network can give you a bit of plausible deniability by allowing you to claim someone else did it using your unsecured connection. We wouldn't count that defense holding up for very long though. It's best just to play it safe and secure your network.
Yeah, your password should not be 1234.
This speaking from personal experience?
Not from personal experience, but I do have
you're
a friend.
you're a 0000 type of gal?
I'm a complicated password kind of gal.
Gotcha.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Because
This is
I still
fully
have to remember
accurate,
it though. Yes.
This is like 100%, you know, and I don't think it's just for Wi-Fi routers either. It's like anything you do at any point, it's like, be careful.
Yeah.
This is being monitored.
Yeah.
Businesses of all stripes track your movements around the web via these sneaky little bits of data, which are designed to be harmless to your computer's security in exchange for being allowed on most computers by default. Once a cookie is placed on your computer, marketers and business owners can use the data it sends to monitor your browsing activity. When Pandora or Instagram seems to know exactly what you like without asking, it's because of cookies. Though this information is typically only used to market ads to people more effectively, web cookies themselves are so common and so rarely noticed, it's hard not to see them as a little sinister once you do stop and think about it.
Man, I hate the futuristic ones. I hate these ones so much. Like, this gets me, like, in my thoughts, and I'm
But this also isn't a conspiracy. This is true.
no, this is fully true.
This is fully true.
You know,
this
but
is how like you go on Instagram, you're like, oh man, like I really wish I could buy some waterproof shoes.
100%, and it's like
waterproof
kaboom,
shoes.
there it
Yeah.
is. You know, it's like everything I say,
Yeah.
it's like consistently, I am getting an ad for that all the time. I hate it.
Because of this job, and because of MA and all that stuff, like the things I search into the Google bar, it has screwed my search engine. Like it is screwed.
I kind of prefer that though.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they don't really know you.
They don't really know who I am. Why is she interested in all these random things? You don't know. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching Top 10 Central Dark. I've been your host, Rachel Fisher.
I've been your host, Nicholas Blaylock.
And until next time, guys, take care and stay scared. Oh God, tummy. Alright, let's do this. Okay, I don't know which one we're talking about first, but I do know about Mkultra, but I have no idea about this guy. So, ooh, Willy Wonka, let's go.
Let's go.
Is this when we say goodbye? Do we just say goodbye?